Good evening, councillors, and welcome to the Sandwich Town Council Extraordinary Meeting of the Town Council on Monday the 5th of October 2023. I'd like to go forward onto item number 1, which is the Chair's opening remarks. And I'd just like to say Town Clerk and I have undertaken some more recruitment, and we've done the shortlisting and interviews, which last Thursday led us to successfully recruit and gain a really excellent assistant town clerk and assistant responsible financial officer. And once again, when you meet this member of staff, I believe she's joining, is it 30th of October?
It's actually sooner than that, Mr. Mayor. It is the Tuesday the 24th of October.
24th, that's even better. When you meet her on the 24th of October, I believe you will be quite astounded. She was massively overqualified for the job. On paper, she seemed to be absolutely superb, and then when I interviewed her, she was even better than that. So it seems that from the recruitment point of view, we're going swimmingly well. So we're up the creek.
Are you able to disclose her name, or is it?
Chloe.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Her name is Chloe. Yeah, I didn't know if I was allowed to disclose that at this stage, but she is extremely wonderful. So, and her previous occupation, I'll best tell you this because it come out in the wash, was she was the deputy clerk at Westgate-on-Sea. So in future, if we have any hordes of councillors coming over to Sandwich from Westgate-on-Sea with pitchforks and sharpened knives, you'll know why. It's because I've been pinching all their staff. So.
Does Martin know about this?
No, I don't think so. Another item I wanted to raise was we had a very lovely email from the Medieval Trust based down on the quay, who said that they wanted to send their best wishes to the Sandwich Town councillors and were extremely grateful for the use of the toilets and showers during the Heritage Weekend. They had some reenactors that had come along to the Heritage Weekend, and of course they were staying there overnight and in their medieval tents, and they said they were very, very grateful to the Town Council to allowing them facilities of showers and toilets over that weekend. So they wanted that to be noted. So I think that's very good, working with event organisers like that to make sure that we're giving them something that they need, which should be recognised by everybody. Third item I had here was representing the council, which was an absolute wonderful thing to do at the Sandwich Arts Society prize giving, and this was a lovely event which was held last Monday, and it was particularly for the children, the students of Sir Roger Manwood's and Sandwich Technology School, and the standard every year is absolutely fantastic, and there's a mayor's prize, so it's very nice to be able to actually present a prize, and these are people who a lot of them are going on to a career in art or design or something like that. So I think it's very good. It's all held here in the Guildhall, and I think it's marvellous to be able to encourage these youngsters to pursue their dream, as it were. So, and then the last item, it's just over some matters that have arisen just recently. But if any councillors have any ideas or schemes, or if you talk to Dover District Council or anybody else, before you put anything in place, I'd be grateful if you discuss matters with the town clerk, and then the town clerk consults with myself, and then we can progress things adequately. But we're having a few people that are going off undertaking certain activities on their own, and when these activities are undertaken, neither the town clerk or myself are knowledgeable about them, and they can't be sanctioned by the council. So any ideas, welcoming ideas, schemes, support, events, anything like that, but if you could please come forward via the town clerk and raise it like that, and the town clerk or the responsible financial officer may have some help or advice or whatever to get your scheme idea or whatever it is forward, if that's okay. That's very good. And then I think the only other things that I've got coming up is before our next meeting on the 30th is, I'll come to you in a minute, Councillor Morehouse, is there's obviously an event on the, I think it's the 15th at Fordwich, which the town clerk has sent you the details for, which is on a Sunday, the 15th, and the town clerk actually needs to know who wants to go to this civic event at Fordwich on Sunday the 15th. So if you could get back to her this evening, that'd be really appreciated. And the last thing I was just going to say before the 30th is the town clerk's been working very hard on the memorial unveiling, which is happening on the 27th, and that will be in the forecourt here, where it will be temporarily placed for the event there. So if you could just put those items in your diary, I'd be very grateful. Councillor Morehouse, was it?
Would you be able to share something specific to what you were referring to?
Yes.
No, I'd rather not actually, yeah, but it's being pursued by myself and the town clerk, so, but it's something that should have been raised with the town clerk in the very first position. Thank you for that. So,
Mr. Mayor,
indeed.
I realise it's not quite the place, but I just wanted to say I unfortunately wasn't at the last council meeting, but I did want to mention that acting on your behalf, I attended 2 events. One was a service of remembrance for the Merchant Navy in Dover, which I found extremely moving. And the other was an invitation from Hawkinge Parish Council to attend a lunch and various other allied they had some singers, and it was really a very enjoyable occasion at the Battle of Britain Museum, which I really do recommend to everybody. It's fascinating, and it's just in the Hawkinge area, and I'd never been there before, and I was a bit distressed to see some discussion about how the council hadn't paid much attention to the Battle of Britain. Well, that museum really does, and I was very pleased to be invited.
Thank you very much for that, Councillor Anderson, so that's very kind of you. Item number 2 are apologies for absence received. I'll ask the town clerk if we have any apologies.
Yes,
please.
we do, Mr. Mayor. Councillor Ripley can't be here this evening due to a travel commitment. Councillor Pennington, we know, is convalescing. Councillor Franklin has a prior appointment, and Councillor Wiles has a travel commitment.
Thank you very much for that, town clerk. That's very good. Item number 3 is declarations of interest, and this is to receive any declarations of disclosable pecuniary interests from members in respect of any business that's transacted on the agenda tonight. Do we have any declarations at all this evening? No, that's none. Yes, thank you, town clerk. That's excellent news. That's good. Item number 4 is public participation, and this is a 20-minute session is set aside for members of the public to make representation at the meeting in respect of the business on the agenda. Individual representation should not exceed 3 minutes. Is that 5 minutes now?
It's
Should be fine.
yes, a typo.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm reading out the correct items. Thank you. Sorry. Written notice of the desire to exercise the right to speak, together with the topic to be addressed, must be given to the town clerk prior to noon of the day of the meeting. Town clerk, do we have any public participants?
None.
We don't. Oh, what a shame. That's unfortunate.
Mr. Mayor, may I say that I'm on this like a hawk, as I've been communication with you. Clearly, transition from one set of standards to another always takes a bit of time. So it's not a criticism, but Jill and I have been in correspondence, haven't we?
Yes.
That's very nice to know. Thank you, Councillor Black. So, item number 5 on the agenda is obviously the main item this evening, and this is the tender for the new website for Sandwich Town Council and the evaluation exercise. And members are to consider the 4 tender bids for a new website for Sandwich Town Council and appoint a contractor this evening, and a decision is required. This is attachment number 1. I just wanted to make a few announcements on this one. First of all, I just wanted to really thank for their excellent professional work, the IT working group. This has been an absolutely fantastic, very, very quick and very, very professional. And I've spent 2 evenings up until midnight reading through all the material and going online to look at all the companies that were tendering. I've spent a lot of time looking into that. I apologise, I wasn't at the meeting earlier, but I've done my homework beforehand. As was said, 5 companies were approached, 4 had tendered. As I say, there was a presentation given earlier this evening by the town clerk to assist you with that. The deadline was the 5 p.m. on the 25th of August 23. Criteria were expertly laid down, specification was drafted, and the preferred bidder was obviously seen on both technical and price merit via the scoring, and the 4 councillors and the town clerk did their individual scoring. So I think our governance on this particular thing is absolutely spot on. So I'd like to thank the working group for that. I also noted from, just very briefly, that the preferred supplier is in association with the Society of Local Councils, which is a very high merit. They undertook the building of the NAUC website. They've been in existence since 1972. They're Crown Commission approved, which anybody that's been in the civil service will know that's gold standard, and GISC approved as well for .gov.uk emails. So I now need to take this forward. Obviously we need to make a decision on this. There has been a preferred bidder, which is the company called Aubergine, but I'm prepared to take any discussion on this matter, or if somebody would like to put the proposal forward for whichever company they prefer. Obviously the preferred bidder has been put on. Councillor Anderson.
Yes, I'd like to propose that the council accepts Aubergine as the company to provide the new website.
Indeed, thank you very much. That, and can I have a second?
That. Yeah.
And Councillor Chuka, seconder. Councillor Breen, did you have a...
Yeah, I agree with the proposals, but I also would like to make a proposal that the town clerk is given some degree of freedom, because the tender price that we have at the moment is a tender price, and in converting that into a contract sum there may be some slight adjustments, and I think we should empower the town clerk at her discretion to make those adjustments.
Indeed. And did you have a preferred variance on the tender document that the town clerk could go up to? If they came back and said it was an extra £20,000 or something, obviously it wouldn't be.
No, as I said, I would leave it at the town clerk's discretion. The tender price is a relatively modest sum in many respects.
Okay.
So,
Sure.
you know, I think it should be left to her discretion. She does have a discretion at the moment for incidental monies of up to £2,000.
Yeah.
And I feel very comfortable that she will use any adjustments or make any adjustments wisely.
Super, thank you for that. Proposer, would you be happy to accept that into your proposal?
Absolutely.
That's superb. Okay then, so we've had that proposed and seconded. Would you all like to show with your cards, please?
Thank you very much.
Okay, that's unanimous, so that's been passed. That means that Aubergine will be approached for taking on the contractors at the discretion of the town clerk there. Thank you for that. Item number 6 is an update on Sandwich Fair Trade status. and this is for myself to give an update to the Town Council's progress on working to become a fully accepted fair trade town as agreed by Sandwich Town Council last year. The Town Council's bid to join Dover and Deal in creating a partnership to become a fair trade district which will benefit residents and visitors alike, and a decision is required on this. This is attachment 2. I've got a very brief update for you. This is to say I've brought this to Sandwich Town Council 3 times now, and on the 3rd time last year it was voted through that Sandwich Town Council would like to become a fair trade associated organisation, which was very good. But then the lead officer that was appointed to this is no longer on Sandwich Town Council, and when I approached him several months later, he said that he didn't realise that he was meant to be progressing it, and so unfortunately it didn't go forward. And just recently I've been approached by some members of the Deal Fair Trade Committee, and they invited me along to one of their meetings, so I went along totally with no expectations or draft to do anything there at all. And then I've gone back for a 2nd time just to see what would be involved with us taking this forward. Now, hopefully everybody's aware, Fair Trade is a long-going organisation. In fact, they're celebrating 30 years next year of being in existence, and they're there to promote the products that they promote that are sourced in an ethical and economical way for the providers of those products. So, for instance, one of the main ones that is a mainstay of fair trade is, of course, chocolate and chocolate derivatives, and they make sure that where the chocolate is sourced, that the supplier gets a fair price for their product on the market, and they make sure that the conditions for the people that are working there are the same as in other parts of the world, and they're not abused. So, but it's something which I've always said I think is a really good thing. There's Dover has got a very strong committee and organisation. Deal's got a very strong committee and organisation, and Sandwich is the only town in the district that isn't a part of this. There's no particular outlay at all, financial outlay, but it would need, I'm putting myself forward as a volunteer, and it would need some other volunteers to perhaps put their names forward. But basically it would start off very slowly by perhaps approaching businesses in the town to see if they'd be interested in joining the initiative. And then one of the things that Deal said was, could we perhaps promote it by having either a stall on the forecourt, perhaps even at our Christmas lights switch on, where there's stalls there, and Deal were prepared to come over and they're prepared to support us to get this going. So, but obviously it's another commitment, and it's just whether or not councillors want to take that on. So I think, was it Councillor Tuka first? So.
Thank you. I did some investigation on fair trade and what's required. So if I can expand a bit further,
Please
so everybody
do.
understands what the commitment is, because it will take some efforts, and
It will do.
let's not ignore that. So these are the things that we will need to do. So we will need to generate a pledge as a council in terms of how we're going to deliver this. But in terms of practical things that we will need to do within the town, we've started to touch on it, but we will need to encourage local workplaces, schools and community organisations to support it, but also to use fair trade products wherever possible.
Indeed.
We will also need to get a proportion of local retailers and catering establishments to do the same. We'll also, and you've touched on it, run events, so it's not just one-off. We need to have a programme of events that's organised to raise awareness and understanding of it. So wrapping around that clearly is having a town steering group whatever we want to call it, that drives this forward. And I fully support it, but it will involve effort, and I'm more than happy to be involved in it. But I just wanted to make people clear about this isn't about just putting a badge on our site and occasionally giving it some interest. It actually is a very organised model, and we get assessed each year in terms of delivery. So it's a like investors in people type thing. Are we doing X, Y, and Z? If we are, we get the ticks, and we can still say we are committed to it.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure people understood
Thank
that.
you very much for that, Councillor Tuke. I think Councillor Black was next.
Well, thank you to Councillor Tuke for answering some of the points. I'm failed to see in this how we actually convert it into any reality. If we look at our two major food sources in the town in terms of they're big conglomerates. They will do their own purchasing decision and will not pay a lot of attention to this if it does not suit them. And we know the big chocolate companies, for example, like Mondelez, have completely ignored it. That's a fact. What does it actually mean for the town? What does it mean for the market? What does it mean for some of the smaller artisan bakers and stuff like that? And unless that's translated into real action, I don't see that it gives us anything. Don't misunderstand me. I'm very supportive of fair trade, but just to say we are a fair trade town without it being converted into real action strikes me as a little bit outside what we should be doing. We have so many other priorities, and I'm not sure, unless we really convert it into action, this is one.
Sure, thank you very much for that. Councillor Anderson?
Yes, I think Councillor Marie was before me actually.
After you, Councillor.
Okay. I entirely agree. I mean, with what's already been said about how we need some examples of practical things that we should do. But it did occur to me that, given how busy we all are, that this should not rely on councillors necessarily, that there will be organisations in the town, particularly I thought the churches, all of them, who might, there would be people there who would be willing to get very positively engaged. So I think we do have to look to outside organisations and not just rely on ourselves to take the lead on this. But I also think that we have to have some very practical ideas of what we want to see happen.
Yeah, indeed, I'll just add to what Councillor Anderson said. I mean, I'm just bringing this to you because I've attended the sessions, but it's down to a vote. As it says, a decision is required. So if you do think, I mean, you can either defer things to a later date, or say, or perhaps in a year's time we would like to do it, or whatever else like that. Then obviously it's at your discretion. But I'm just bringing it to the council so you're aware of this. I believe Councillor Marie.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you know, I visit many towns and cities across the UK, and most of them are fair trade places, and they do very well with fair trade. The two biggest markets that we have in the town, this is the two shops. They do sell fair trade stuff, quite a lot of it actually. It does need a lot of work doing. I do agree with Councillor Anderson. Also, it'd be good for external organisations as well to take part in this, hence the town team, the Compass Group, etc., to help with the businesses and stuff. I'm more than happy to support you in this with the proposal.
I'd like to make a proposal which sort of, what I don't want us to do is to kick it into the long grass. So why isn't the first step to invite either Deal or Dover to come to a council meeting, explain how they approached it, what they're doing, what the challenges were, and how successful they are. Because actually, if you go onto Dover Town Council site, it shows the Fair Trade banner, but there's nothing behind it. So I'd like to hear from them exactly what the challenges are around it.
Very good. That's a very good proposal. So, yes, Councillor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If I can also suggest that, following from your suggestion about a stand at the Christmas nights, I think that can be very easily arranged, being that you have two of the main Christmas nights people here. I think we can agree to that very willingly.
Oh, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. So, well, as I say, so we've had a proposal from Councillor Tuke, which is a very sensible proposal. Did anybody want to second that proposal, or does somebody? So Councillor Black seconding that one. All those in favour of the first step towards this being inviting Dover or Deal to come and make a presentation to the council and then assessing it from there. So all those in favour?
Yes.
Okay, super. Thank you very much for that. That's very good. That's excellent now. Item number 7, allotment working group. This was for members to consider the draft terms of reference for the allotments working group and to appoint up to 2 town councillors. A decision is required. Attachment number 3. This has been put forward for deferment because 2 of the councillors that have the most involvement in the allotments, and particularly one who's a very long stalwart, which is Councillor Franklin, and neither of them are here tonight. So I'm going to put forward a proposal that we defer this until the 2 councillors that would have been able to shed a lot of light onto this can do so. So would anybody like to second that? Thank you. Okay. And all those in favour of deferring this item, please show your cards.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and that's passed as well. Right? That's excellent news. And then item number 8 is date of the next full council meeting is the Monday the 30th of October 2023. So thank you for your support tonight and your discussion, and I wish you a good evening and safe journey home. Thank you.